largest digital native customers scale on our API platform.
And so today, everything is about GPT Realtime 2, which we just released last week. So the goal of Build Hours is really to empower you with the best practices, tools, and AI expertise to scale your company using OpenAI APIs and models. Whether you're a founder or an engineer at a larger company, we hope what you learned today can actually take these products and put them into production and help you scale faster. You can sign up for all of our Build Hours at the link below, and also find them on YouTube. So there's lots of great content that we have. And we're going to jump right into it because we have a packed hour. So today we're going to go through kind of just an overview of what we released last week, share a little bit more about what you can specifically build with and where you should focus on, as well as going through a couple of specific demos. So we're first going to go through voice-powered search agents, then product analytics dashboard. As always with Build Hours, we're going to build these live. So pray to the voice demo gods that everything works out. And then we are really excited to be joined by the team at Sierra. They're going to share how they're building with Realtime 2 and also some tips from the pros with building with voice agents in general. As always, we will save some time for Q&A at the end. There's a Q&A button that you'll see on your screen. As we're going through the session today, feel free to ask questions there. We have folks in the studio who will answer them live. And then at the end, we'll always save some time to answer questions, both with Terry, Erica, and the Sierra team. So with that, let's kick it off.
Amazing.
Awesome. So we had a big audio drop last Thursday with 3 new models. So we'll go through them today. Here's just a very quick view of everything going on. But we wanted to actually show you and immerse you in the experience. So we're gonna go through some demos. So then for the next slide, we're gonna make sure to, we wanna know where everyone's from. And so if you could just drop a flag for where you're calling from or where you're dialing in from. We wanna show you potential translation model in this potential language. So yeah.
Looks like we always have a lot of Spanish speakers in the room. So let's choose that for translation. I'm gonna hop over to our translation demo. And Terry, I'd love you to give this a spin.
Cool. So when I wake up this early,
Así que cuando me despierto tan temprano, estoy mejor.
So because I'm hungry, I'm going to talk about some breakfast items.
Entonces, porque tengo hambre, quiero hablar de algunas cosas para el desayuno.
Terry.
An acai bowl.
Se te antoja algo, Terry. Un bol de azaí. Un café con leche. Quizá un poco de leche de soja.
What's better than breakfast is potentially a new
Pero ¿qué hay
OpenAI.
mejor que el desayuno? Posiblemente una nueva filtración de modelos de OpenAI. Bien, ahí lo dejamos. Luego hablemos de este modelo.
So
Estoy emocionado.
let's see.
So you can see here on the left is our transcript and then the output translation transcript.
Absolutely. So number 1, you're already seeing in action, which is the real-time translate model. So it powers conversations that feel like language barriers disappear. It supports over 70 input and 13 output languages with low latency streaming translation. And it's really great for video calls, live streams, customer service. And then also you're seeing number 2, which is our GPT real-time whisper model. That's secretly powering this experience as well, where you can see streaming capability with tunable latency as low as 200 milliseconds with 80 input languages. And so that means you can have earlier function calling, better instruction following, and live products will feel faster, more responsive, more captions, media notes, ambient agentic context. And then we have our 3rd model that we released as well. That is GPT Realtime 2. So you'll see here, it is our most intelligent voice model. It brings GPT-5 class reasoning into voice, and it's very strong at prompt adherence, tool calling, multilingual performance, which are all critical to voice production workflows. And so you now have these 3 different ways that you can build. So you have voice to action, like hands-free voice-driven apps. You have your systems to voice, which is like a voice chief of staff, but it's organized into spoken voice. And then you have voice to voice, like customer service calls. Companies like T-Mobile use it all around the world.
And someone commented in the chat in Spanish and said, wow, that's good. So I'm assuming that it translated acai bowl and oat milk latte.
Good. I was worried.
And actually, hopefully everybody could hear, we have dynamic voice cloning as part of this. So we can have multiple speakers and you can actually tell that different people are speaking, which I think is really cool.
Dynamic tone matching is really great for sure. Cool. And then for Realtime 2, there's a bunch of new capabilities. So beyond just like the emotion matching that you get from voice to voice, there's also things like preambles where you can say, let me check on that, like a real human would before reasoning. There's also increased context windows. This was a major request that we had. It increased 4x to 128K now. And so that roughly translates to
like almost an hour, which is also coincidentally our session. So it really increases the instruction following the intelligence because we don't have to truncate.
Yes, exactly. And then there's also parallel tool calls. So you no longer have to like waterfall the tool calls. There's also better domain vocabulary, understanding like healthcare or AI terms. And then there's context overturns, which means better agentic behavior, and then controllable expressiveness. So you can try telling it to whisper, be excited, jealous, try different things. We're excited to see what you come up with. And on benchmarks, you'll see major jumps in both intelligence, instruction following, and tool calling. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about the next wave of AGI. That'll be more global, hands-free, more accessible to everyone around the world. But now we're gonna have Erica actually show us what it's like under the hood.
Amazing. Oh, I'm really excited for this. I think voice is the coolest modality. I think it's so underrated and we're just getting to a point where we can really bring this into production. So I want to start with this search agent and then we'll move to another demo. So let me share my screen. Okay, cool. So I am planning a hiking trip to the Pacific Northwest and I've been shopping on SupplyCo, but there's a few other things that I need. So I'm going to start chatting with my shopping agent. Remind me where I left off with shopping. What else do I need for this hiking trip?
You still need a tent and hiking shoes first. Your day pack, trail socks, and insulated bottle are already covered from your recent purchases. Which one do you want to look for next?
Let's start with the tent. I'm hoping for something under $500 that would fit like 3 to 4 people.
I'll pull up and narrow tent options under your budget. I've highlighted 2 good under $500 options with free shipping. The first is about $419.85 with a higher rating and more reviews. The second is about $357 and opens quickly, but isn't marked as full ready. Want me to open the higher rated one to check details? Or do
actually,
you prefer...
can you tell me, I want to hear about like any 1 or 2 star reviews on that more expensive one. Is there anything that I need to know?
I'll scan. It's still pulling those critical reviews. If it takes another moment, I can move on to a different tent or open this one's details while we wait. The low star...
Yeah, tell me about those low star ratings.
Since you prefer waterproof gear for weekend trips, I'd lean towards switching to a more storm-ready tent if there's any chance of heavy rain.
Let me click into this product page. I can see it says
I'll open the tent page so you can review the details. This page is open. The main downside from low-star reviews is slower first-time setup and weaker performance in heavy storms. If you want, I can help you compare it with a more storm-ready tent next.
No, actually, I haven't checked the weather lately. Can you tell me the weather forecast in the Seattle area the weekend after next?
I'll check the Seattle forecast. That forecast... Storm risk looks moderate for Seattle the weekend after next. This tent is likely fine for a normal rainy weekend, but I'd add a footprint and solid stakes